Good morning and welcome to Kid News. I'm Tori. It's Thursday, September 30th, 2021. And we begin with a real lunchtime crunch at some school cafeterias in the U.S. Several districts are facing shortages of the basics like chicken, bread, apple juice, and even plastic cutlery. The main reason for this problem may sound familiar: supply chain issues due to a lack of workers. Companies that make and distribute food are having a hard time finding enough people to handle these tasks. The director of Food and Nutrition Services at North Kansas City Schools in Missouri told the New York Times that she is making regular trips to their local Sam's Club or Restaurant Depot stores to buy up all the frozen pizzas, tater tots, and hot dogs. And while she admits that food doesn't meet federal nutritional guidelines, they're bringing in whatever food they can so students have something to eat. You probably won't find this on a cafeteria menu: limited edition Pokemon Oreo cookies. The treats were introduced earlier this month and feature various Pokemon monsters stamped onto the chocolate wafer. But one particular cookie is in high demand. In the world of Pokemon, the mythical monster Mew is rarely seen, and likewise, coming across a Mew Oreo cookie is compared to finding a unicorn. So, of course, this has led to a frenzied search on eBay. One person who claims to have this rare cookie is offering to sell it for as much as $10,000. And how do they taste? Apparently, exactly like a regular Oreo. It's happened again. Forecasters are running out of names for storms during another busy Atlantic hurricane season. There are only 2 names left on the list for this year: Victor and Wanda. And right now, 4 systems are being tracked out in the ocean. Last year, which had a record 30 named storms, the World Meteorological Organization turned to the Greek alphabet when they exhausted the regular list. But the group said the Greek letters like zeta, eta, and theta were confusing because they sounded too similar. So this year, if additional names are needed, they'll use a supplemental list instead, starting with Adria, Braylon, and Caridad. The hurricane season starts June 1st and runs through the end of November. After months of trials, Pfizer has just submitted its research on COVID vaccines for kids ages 5 to 11 to the U.S. government. But don't start rolling up your sleeves just yet. Exactly when kids will get a jab is still unclear. It was hoped the green light would come next month, but according to the Wall Street Journal, the drug maker won't file an application for the Food and Drug Administration to authorize the use of the vaccine for kids for a few more weeks. Then public health officials need to review the paperwork and confirm a lower dose is safe for children. Bottom line, 5 to 11-year-olds likely won't get their shots until sometime between Halloween and Thanksgiving, depending on how quickly the FDA acts. In other Kid News notes, TikTok says it's surpassed 1 billion monthly users, which is a huge number for a platform that launched just over 3 years ago. It's faced a lot of government scrutiny because of concerns about the Beijing-based parent company collecting data on all the people who use the site to watch short videos. TikTok soared in popularity during the pandemic, becoming the world's most downloaded app last year, and it shows no signs of slowing down. March Madness is no longer just for the guys. In a reversal of a long-standing tradition, the NCAA announced yesterday that next March, their Division I women's basketball tournament will also use the March Madness slogan. And when is a dollar not a dollar? When it's an item being sold at the Dollar Tree. The discount chain where everything costs $1 or less has just announced it plans to sell some products at $1.25 or $1.50. The reason? Higher wages for employees and freight costs. That's it for Kid News. We want to let you know we have a brand new feature for our listeners, a fun worksheet to explore some of our Kid News stories on a deeper level and encourage critical thinking. You can find it on our website, www.kidnews.org, in the Teacher's Lounge section. Now, the Kid News quiz. How many names are left for storms brewing over the Atlantic Ocean? 2. Victor and Wanda. What is the latest target date for kids ages 5 to 11 to get a COVID vaccine? between Halloween and Thanksgiving. TikTok says it surpassed how many monthly users? $1 billion. What slogan will now be applied to both men's and women's NCAA basketball competitions? March Madness. In our KidNuz kicker, Winnie the Pooh's trademark treehouse is now available for rent. Tucked in a wooded part of Sussex, England that inspired author A.A. Milne's 100-acre wood, a tiny custom-built home has been created based on the classic drawings of the bear's abode. The home has a bright red door at the base of a large tree, and all the bear necessities are inside, including plenty of comfy spots for napping and a whole bunch of honey pots lining the kitchen shelves. It's part of a Disney celebration marking the beloved Pooh's 95th anniversary. Before we go, a big KidNuz shout out to our rock star teachers and their students, Mrs. Annunzio at McKay Elementary in Beaverton, Oregon, Mrs. Burdell and her awesome scholars at St. Anthony, Milwaukee in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Mrs. Konzen and her Hiawatha Cougars at Hiawatha Elementary in Hiawatha, Iowa, Ms. Farmer, who is so proud of her scholars at Frank O'Bannon in Hammond, Indiana, and Mrs. Job and her students who love school at J.T. McWilliams in Las Vegas, Nevada. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We hope you tune in for more KidNuz tomorrow morning.